You look really cool in them.
They fit my head. They fit my head.
They do fit your head pretty nice.
They're Sennheisers, and they would fit yours better than those two. I actually want us to look like uniform.
Right.
So at some point, I'll buy another. These are $200. At some point, I'll buy another pair.
Okay.
For you.
Thanks, buddy. Well, let's put it in the budget.
Yeah, and eventually get the same microphone.
Yeah.
Make it look a little more.
Yeah, a little bit more legit.
Uniform.
Although I do feel like we're getting more and more legit as we go.
We are.
Ooh, what do we got here? Oh, we got again compliments of our good friend Dino down in Florida.
Dino, what's up, homie? Thank you for the. As you can see, we're just about finished with it, but thank you for the bottle of whiskey.
Calumet Farms.
So good.
It is really good.
If you guys don't know about this bottle, you should check it out. I will. I'll drop a link below. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will drop a link for this bottle. It's the best whiskey I've ever had.
Yeah, I'd say arguably the best whiskey I've had as well.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, man, cheers, pal. Happy Friday.
It is Friday as we are recording this. If you're listening to this on audio only, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and and if not, we're on YouTube also.
Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. Help support. Welcome to Bourbon and Blunts, everybody. I'm Jimmy the J.
Motherfucking slang.
Yeah.
And you can also support the podcast by donating to the podcast, a monthly subscription to the podcast.
And where can people donate at?
On, I believe it is through Spotify.
Okay. All right, man.
But the links are all on the YouTube video. If you watch this on YouTube, all the links are down below in the video description.
Nice. Nice, buddy. And the kush of the day is Northern Lights here. And as a matter of fact, pal, would you mind passing me the lighter there, fella?
The pink lighter?
I hate this fucking pink lighter.
You got a problem with pink lighters.
I don't know. It's just, you know what it is? It's like a, like if I were to go to a bar and I ordered some whiskey. Now, not every bar has, these are called old-fashioned glasses.
Correct.
Not every bar has an old-fashioned glass, surprisingly. So some bars put it in some random glass, and it just doesn't taste the same. Like, I go to a dive bar down the road from my house, and shout out to MRI, baby. And
this is so good.
yeah, and the bar is fantastic. I love going there. A lot of fun. But they serve everything out of plastic cups.
That's annoying.
It is, kind of. And I'm like, man, when I get a whiskey and I'm drinking out of a plastic cup, it just doesn't feel good.
So I went to, and we'll talk about this later on. I went to Google just dropped some new products, right? So I went to Brooklyn, New York for the Google I.O. event. They dropped some new phones. The main Google I.O. event was in Cali, but they had one here in Brooklyn, and I got an invite. So I went. But speaking on that, it was incredibly dope place.
Yeah.
And you know the water towers that catch like water on top of buildings?
Yes.
That was turned into a bar.
Oh, cool.
And underneath that was a giant winding staircase down to the roof.
Okay.
Where there was a pool, rooftop pool with other bars.
Yeah.
But the place up top, it was open bar all night in compliments of Google. Shout out to Team Pixel. But they were serving whiskey in plastic cups. And I had a shot of, well, it was like a little swig of whiskey.
Yeah.
And it just felt
weird.
Not right in a plastic cup.
No, it does not feel right, dude.
Yeah.
It does not feel right. But, you know, I guess beggars can't be choosers, right?
Yeah, I don't expect a glass cup at a bar either.
Right.
Not at a place like that.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah.
While we're on that same topic, how was I saved all my questions from the Brooklyn event that you went to for the podcast. This way we didn't get too far ahead of ourselves outside of, recording. How was that whole experience, dude? Tell me about it.
It was fantastic, dude. Being a part of Team Pixel, like other people that aren't a part of it give us a lot of slack or give us a lot of shit.
Okay.
I don't know if it's jealousy or whatever.
Yeah. Where do you think that comes from then?
I think it's jealousy, but because a lot of people that are on Team Pixel don't always do videos on the Pixels.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they don't ask us to.
I got you.
They just ask for feedback and things like that. And,
okay.
But what they're doing is so much more than that. Like they are bringing together people that I would have never met in my life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like all these people I just met in Brooklyn, I would have never met any of these people.
Okay. So they're all basically content creators that are reviewing tech.
No.
Oh, no.
No,
Oh,
that's what I'm
okay.
talking about. Like, it's not just content creation. I mean, it's all content creation, but it's not all tech.
Okay.
So, like, there was a guy and a girl. They were a couple, and they are dog bloggers. And like they had their dog with them, and the dog had some shades on, chilling, like in like an outfit. The dog was just lounging on this girl's arm,
Right.
and they're like, I guess, very good dog bloggers. So
Okay.
they're on Team Pixel. There was another guy who just a photographer, and I talked to him most of the night, and you know, while you're there, you check out their Instagram and you connect and shit like that.
Right. Right.
And I was just, I mean, all of us were outside at one point during sunset watching him do his magic on the phones,
Oh, interesting.
and it was incredible. Like,
Interesting.
so it's not just he's just taking photos,
Right, right.
Amazing photos, and showing what the phones can actually do.
Very
You
cool.
know, what I mean, you and I are just going out there and snapping pictures.
Yeah.
He's like making art with that shit.
Right.
So it's not just content creators that talk about tech. It's like a whole different line.
Well, it kind of makes
Of
sense
people.
because, right, like the photographer. Well, that makes sense because you could take awesome pictures,
Yeah.
you know, on a DSLR camera, but maybe also take the same quality type of picture on the
He
Google.
doesn't use a DSLR at all.
Oh, there
he
you go.
uses Pixel phones.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Or like you said, the dog bloggers. I mean, they can use the same phone to, I guess,
Take
either-
pictures of their pups.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man.
And talk about, I guess, tech.
Yeah,
Like,
that makes sense, man. What was what was your biggest takeaway from that whole experience? Or what did you enjoy the most out of it?
you know what I like about it is that they don't have to do any of this.
Mhm.
And I learned some things too about like Team Pixel. Like there's a Discord for Team Pixel, and they hold events and contests all the time. And like the prizes are big. Like the two guys I was with, the guy was like the guy that I was just telling you about, the photographer.
Right.
And I hate that I can't remember his name because he was awesome, and I want to give him a shout out, but I don't remember his name off the top of my head because I just met him.
Yeah.
But so you go on Discord and they have events and contests all the time. And I get the emails all the time for the contest. And I'm going to start doing it because he was like, nobody does it. It's just like me and Lenny, another guy that I was there. Shout out to Lenny, by the way. And he was like, it's just us two that do the contest, and we always win, like first or second. And the
Right.
prizes were, they got flown out to the NBA All-Star game
Oh shit.
and hung out, and they were on court and like they had signed jerseys from like soccer stars like Ronaldo and shit like that.
Oh,
They-
that's cool.
They went skiing. They took him skiing in Utah, like paid for everything, flew him out, like just for taking pictures and entering a contest with your phone.
Really
Yeah,
interesting.
like crazy. They're just, and they don't have to do any of this.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's a tax write-off for them, and it promotes their phone.
Yeah, they're. But that's the thing. They're not asking for people to do anything. They're not asking me to create a video.
Right. But
They know I will.
Right.
you know?
And you're going to talk like, look, dude, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it helps promote their brand, I guess.
Yeah, and I love
So-
what they just released. They got the whole ecosystem.
And to be fair, like I've always had a Android, Samsung, besides the Nextel,
Yeah.
right back in the day.
Nextel.
Yeah,
Shout out
baby.
to Nextel.
Chirp chirp. But after you and I were talking about the Pixel, I'm like, and you were just showing me some fucking magic tricks on there.
It's called
dude.
Magic Eraser. I just showed a Magic Eraser.
It
So
was-
if you're on a Pixel,
That was mind blowing, man. I've never seen anything do that.
yeah.
Um,
It took what, 3 seconds?
yeah, but you almost sold me.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's-
next time I go out and look to buy a phone, I'm gonna kind of consider that.
I highly recommend that. And look, they just dropped a phone that I've been waiting for a long time. The Pixel Fold.
Okay.
It's a folding phone. I
Oh
love
yeah,
folding phones.
You told me about that.
And this is the form factor that I wanted, the size that I wanted. It's running, basically stock Android because it's Google,
Okay.
and it's expensive.
Yeah. How much? Like expensive? How?
It's $1,800.
Oh shit.
I mean, I'm hoping maybe Team Pixel will get them.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I
yeah,
doubt it because
might-
it's $1,800. But
Or maybe hook you up a little bit,
maybe
give you a discount.
Yeah. Well, nah, no discounts.
No.
Nah.
Okay.
But either way, I will find a way.
Right.
If I got to sell all kinds of shit, I'll find a way to get it.
All right, buddy. Well, that's. I'm glad you had a good experience. Ride up was good. Ride back was good. Everything was okay.
Took 3 hours to get there. I hit mad traffic.
Yeah, of course
on,
you did.
and I left 4 hours early because I figured it would take 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But I left 4 hours early. I left at 2, And I got there in Brooklyn, and luckily I found a parking spot right away, like a half a block away from the bar.
Oh shit, dude.
And so I got there at 5, and I had to wait like 40 minutes in my car.
And how long were you at the event for?
It was from 6 to 9, and I left around 8:30.
Oh, okay.
I was home by 11.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful night too.
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah, beautiful.
And I put
night,
some
man.
pictures up on Instagram and Twitter.
I saw them, as a matter of
And,
fact. Yeah.
And it overlooked where we were directly was on the Hudson, overlooking over the water the Empire State Building and
Yeah.
the skyline.
Cool.
Like, it was incredible.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was dope.
So, one of the things that we were kind of discussing prior to today's episode is, what we want to talk about. And right away, one of the biggest things one of the things that jumped into your mind, I could tell instantly,
I love it, dude.
was what?
Aliens.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Put on a fucking tinfoil hat.
You should have.
Shit.
Let's get our antennas out.
Yeah. So why'd you want to talk about aliens, dude?
I love aliens.
What about the idea of aliens that stimulates your brain the most?
First off, I love sci-fi.
Okay.
Right? Anything sci-fi I love, but aliens are real. Like there is literally no way, 0% chance that aliens, what we call aliens, are not real. There's absolutely no way there are not other living life forms in the universe.
And why do you think that?
Because it's never ending. The universe is never ending with millions of planets, with millions of stars, billions,
Yeah.
millions of suns.
Yeah.
They've already found other planets just with our like limited technology and reach. We already know that there are other planets that could sustain life.
Right.
Like there's not a chance in hell we are the only living creatures in the universe.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. This is something that also fascinates me.
It's fascinating.
Oh my God. It
Yeah.
stimulates my brain so much. It's funny. So there's so many times like Scott and I would be laying in bed or would just, be eating dinner and I'll be kind of zoned out a little bit. She's like, "What are you thinking about?" I'm like, "Oh,
Aliens.
do you really want to know?" Aliens or freaking ancient civilizations or something like that. She's
It's
like,
another
"Oh my
thing, because
God."
they're connected in a way.
I feel like they are connected in a
Yeah,
way too.
yeah.
So, what have you ever had any experiences with any sort of anomalous thing in your life that you're like, I just can't explain that? Not necessarily like paranormal type.
So not like ghosts or
I'm not talking
anything.
about ghosts. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like it has to do with aliens.
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
And I'm really disappointed about it because if they came to abduct me,
Right.
I'm out.
So, all right. Well, I want to dive into that just a little bit more, but I do have two like little random.
You felt it or
Well,
seen something?
so the one is just me being a fucking kid, but it's just so funny. It has to do with aliens still, but and the other one has to do with my buddy. But so you're saying that you wouldn't mind being abducted?
I would go. Like if that was the end of my story, that's fine. It's a kind of a cool ending.
It is, but nobody would know.
Well, okay.
Maybe nobody would know.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what would you hope to gain out of that experience
Just
of
knowledge.
abduction?
Just knowledge and confirmation.
Confirmation
Confirmation
that it is real.
Okay, I fucking believed the whole time. And
Yeah.
like now we're here.
Yeah. Have you seen a lot of the new stuff that's coming out of the Pentagon and
Yes.
congressional hearings? And
All the
that sort of
videos
stuff?
that
Dude,
have leaked and
Did you see the new fucking video?
the one Joe Rogan was talking about? Or
No, I don't think so. The one with it was like an orb looking
No,
thing.
I didn't see that.
It was like in Afghanistan or the Middle East, and a drone, a
See,
U.S. drone, got footage of it. Dude.
Really?
Oh, it was.
But that's the thing. Like there's probably millions of fakes, right?
Right.
But they're not all fakes.
No.
There is no way they're all fakes.
No. I mean, well, this is why Congress is diving into all this sort of stuff. I mean, look, I would venture to say that our military, our government, multiple militaries and governments around the world have knowledge of this type
Absolutely.
of thing,
A lot of
right?
people. And people that have retired literally from Area 51 have come out and said what's there.
Right. The problem with that is I think right away most people's minds go to speculation.
Yeah,
Like this person's
they're
a quack.
going to discredit them.
Right, like, oh, this is bullshit. This isn't real,
Yeah.
right? But automatically my mind then goes to, well, why can't it be? Why does it have to be
But
bullshit?
that's the thing. Even if 90% of them are bullshitting,
Right.
1 or 2 of them are telling the truth. Because it's not just a random thing that happens every couple years. No, this shit happens all the time.
Yeah, so I encourage you, dude. Maybe are we able to post that on when we post this video?
Probably not.
A clip of it.
I could put a link to it.
Okay, we should put a link to that because it's really. I mean, for those of you who haven't checked it out, just type in Google new UFO footage from U.S. drone, and you'll be able to find it pretty easily. So you want me to tell you some of my experiences, dude?
Yeah.
Okay, so the one's it's kind of corny, I think, but I was a kid. I was over at my cousin's house, and my aunt took us to the mall, and we got toys. And I got this fucking, I don't know, 18-inch gray alien, like what you would call the grays.
Right.
So my cousin and I were playing and all that sort of stuff, and we go, and I put the damn alien on the coffee table. So we go and we're out eating dinner or doing something, and I come back and the freaking alien's gone, and I'm like, where?
How old were you?
I was probably, I don't know, 10 maybe, and I'm like, where the hell is this thing at, dude? I found it behind the couch. Right? I don't know how it got behind the couch. Now, looking back, I'm like, my fucking cousin probably put it behind the couch, right? Hiding it from me. But I just remember at the time being so scared.
You thought that he like walked away or something?
Well, because he was with me the whole time. So I that's what my memory wants to go to, right? And then I remember, because I was like sleeping over his house. So I was like laying in bed all night thinking like this little fucking thing's going to crawl up and
kill me. This little fucker's going to kill me.
I mean, looking back, my cousin probably freaking me.
You should ask him about it.
Yeah, I doubt he'll even remember it, but I should ask him about it. The other one has to do with my buddy who's done all my tattoos, and he's super big into aliens, right? And he shows me this, but he has this big screen TV in his tattoo studio. So he pulls this up on his face, like, dude, I had this fucking thing happen to me not too long ago. I completely forgot all about it, and I was going through my phone, deleting things, and I found it again. So he pulls it up on the big screen to have me watch it. So he owns a bank. So
he owns a bank.
It's a former bank that he owns, that he lives in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's got a vault?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So he's on the roof of the bank one night. He said, and this guy, he stays up all night. He has like a whole reverse schedule. The tattoo world is such an interesting thing, dude.
It's definitely
a different world.
Type of person.
Yeah, and he's like a night owl. Anyway, so he's like, dude, I was up on my roof, and it's the middle of the night. There's no fucking lights around, and all of a sudden, like through the trees, and he shows. I'm watching the video where he's like kind of going through me, like this. He's like this ball of light shining right through the trees. I was like, was it a helicopter? He's like, dude, there was no sound, no propellers, and then all of a sudden, like, I just start trailing off of my voice, and you can hear it, and as he's showing it to me, he's like trailing off in his voice, and the video just goes out. And he's like, dude, come on, man. Like, because right away I'm like skeptical, like, all right, it's a ball of light. So I'm like, was it an airplane? He's like, no, it wasn't an airplane. There was no sound. Wasn't a helicopter. It was below tree line, like through. So as I'm watching the video, he showed me the video. It was kind of hard to see because it was still a little bit further away, but it was through. You could see it through the trees, just staying right there. It wasn't moving, and the light was shining through the trees, like right at the lens.
Yeah.
And he's talking. He's like, he's just by himself. He's like, what the fuck is going on? What is this? Blah blah blah. And then his voice trails off and he goes back. He's like, dude, you know how into aliens I am. Why the fuck would I shut the video off?
Yeah.
He's like, why would I shut the video off? So we went like frame by frame by frame, and it looked like what you see if you Googled orbs.
You should send it to me, and I'll put it in the editing software.
Okay.
And try and pull it out.
All right. When we're done, I'll text him and see if he can send it to me.
Yeah.
Because when he showed me the still of it, and I looked it up on Google, like, UFO orbs or whatever, it looked identical. So I'm like, oh man, maybe you did run into something that was, unexplained, dude.
I already believe they're here. I believe they've been here for a very long time.
So did you where was I listening to this at? Oh, there I've talked about this before here on the podcast. The one YouTube channel, I'm obsessed with this YouTube channel. It's called After School. And who was I listening to? I think I was listening to Graham Hancock on there, or Randall Carlson, or somebody talking about ancient civilizations, right? And how Plato was talking about I think it was a politician that went to Egypt discussing and talking about the pyramids and stuff like that. And basically, this politician said to the priest about how man was created, essentially, and like we were created. There was a major cataclysm, and God came down and basically created man. And the Egyptian he was with kind of laughed at him and said, "Well, that was the last one you remember. There have been multiple cataclysms beforehand."
Which is, I mean, we know the dinosaurs and like
right. So,
yeah.
But imagine, right? Imagine, what if we are created in the image of God, right? As the Bible talks about. And what is God?
Well, maybe God's an alien.
Maybe God is an alien,
Yeah,
right?
like
and
a
maybe
superpowered alien,
right? And
people don't get offended by this,
right. It's not right. It's not knocking.
Yeah,
I'm not
for
knocking
those
religion or anything
that go
like
to church and are really into religion, like respect, but
yeah, I'm not knocking religion.
Yeah,
I think religion's a good thing, but you don't think religion's good.
we can have a whole conversation.
Yeah, we can have a conversation
about this.
later. That, but what if that God is some type of ET?
Well, yeah,
Right, that maybe created
that had powers or something,
or
Yeah.
just was another living organism out there in the universe, and somehow, for whatever reason, like we are the offspring of that.
One day people will know.
Dude, I think we're close.
Yeah, one day we might not see it in our lifetime. I swear to God, I hope that we do.
I hope so.
But we might not see it in a lifetime. But eventually it will happen. Eventually, people also will have the technology to travel into space. Like that's going to happen.
One of the more recent documentaries is by James Fox. It was Moment of Contact. Have you watched the documentary?
No.
Oh, dude, it's on shit. I had to rent it. I ran it on YouTube, I think. But it discusses a extraterrestrial crash in Varginha, Brazil.
I've heard about that.
Dude, you got to watch the documentary.
I have heard about it.
It was pretty fucking compelling.
because it's spelled just like Virginia. Virginia.
It's Virginia. Varginha. I think it's Varginha.
Varginha.
Varginha, something like that. But what were we going to say, vagina?
I was. But then I was like, no, I got to edit that shit out, but I really don't.
Yeah, no. It's, Varginha, Brazil. And the documentary is fantastic. And man, let me tell you something, like, it was pretty fucking compelling. You know, because right away you want to be skeptical, and I think you should be skeptical about everything.
That's the first thought coming to your mind is going to be skepticism.
Do you think there's any point, has there ever been any point in recent memory, you're older than me, in your recent memory, that you feel like we've been closer now to knowing for sure?
Yeah, all the time.
Because
think, more and more, everyone now, because of technology, like everyone now has a camera in their pocket. So things are getting caught on camera all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And eventually, it's kind of hard to say because I'm kind of shocked that it's not out completely yet.
Well, why do you think that is?
Well, the government.
And why is that?
But the fact that because they want control.
Do you think it's control, or do you think
they think that people can't handle the truth?
What I would like to believe, if the government is hiding that truth, so then it's like, well, why are they? I would like to think that maybe it's because it might cause civilizational collapse.
How so?
And the reason why I say that because imagine, like, I know for me, maybe not quite for me, because I think about this shit all the time, but I would definitely start questioning a little bit about, I already question now, so maybe I'm not a good example, but for the average person that wholeheartedly believes that, okay, we were, let's say we're created via evolution, God, all that sort of stuff, right? What we've been told as a...
So you're saying somebody that believes in that, their whole belief system
let's just say
will be demolished.
Exactly. The whole traditional belief system that you've been taught if you grew up in a conservative Christian household and you went to a normal public school, your whole fucking thought process of what we are, what civilization is, what the world is, I think would be completely freaking shattered.
I mean, I'm okay with that though.
I'm okay with that too.
It has to come out eventually.
But the question though is, well, then why wouldn't the government say anything? And maybe it's because of that. That would be the soft approach. But I really would think that they're probably not saying anything because of there's advanced weaponry, technology.
Yeah, maybe
all
they're
that sort of
studying
stuff.
it to try and.
Yeah, who knows, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they are studying. If there is like an aircraft or weapons in like locations like Area 51, there's no doubt they're studying.
Have you watched the Bob Lazar story?
Who?
Bob Lazar. You know
Bob Lazar?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Oh, dude, come on. You gotta get caught up. So Bob Lazar worked not for Area 51. He worked for a separate location called Area S. I think it was Area S4. Now, basically, Lazar's story is that he worked at Area S4, and he's able to prove that he worked there.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of giving the Reader's Digest version of this, but worked for the government, secret Area S4, and he worked on back engineering extraterrestrial propulsion systems.
Yeah, so I just Googled Area S4, and Bob Lazar is the first thing that
There
came
you
up.
go. So I highly encourage you to check him out and check out some of his documentary made out about him very recently.
So he's a physicist.
Yes.
Self-proclaimed, it says.
Well, see, that's the other thing. So so let me just kind of give you some more of the story.
So
go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So basically, he was recruited by the government, and essentially what he worked on was trying to back engineer propulsion systems that was an unidentified craft, essentially. It looked like it was a UFO craft.
Right.
He said apparently, according to him, the U.S. government has about 9 of these crafts that he knows of. And the reason why is because one day they opened up the bay or opened like the side windows to the other bays, and he can see down the whole, I guess, hangar, and they had other crafts in there and other departments working on it, like metallurgy, weaponry. He was a physicist, so he was working on propulsion systems, all that sort of, and he could not figure out how this thing actually worked. So what started to happen was on Wednesday nights, they would test fly some of these craft. The reason why they picked Wednesday night was because that's when there was the least amount of traffic on the roadway, statistically. So they would test fly these crafts. According to him, this propulsion system ran off of element 115, something like that, which at the time was not a part of the periodic table, which very recently has been proven to be a real element. So he felt compelled to essentially like share this with his friends.
Okay.
So he started taking some of his friends up on Wednesday night to watch this craft, and he got video footage of it. Well, apparently the government found out because they tapped his phones, all that sort of shit, arrested him, and basically completely smeared him and smeared his story. But he still, to this day, sticks to that same story and has since proven that he did work there because his name is in the phone book for Area S4.
Wow.
So for those of you who don't know who Bob Lazar is, since we're talking about aliens, I highly encourage you to go study up on him. Very, very interesting. If you know about his story, drop us a comment below. See what you think. Let us hear what you got on that. And if you haven't heard his story, let us know what you think if you follow up on that. But
it says here, a self-proclaimed physicist who claims he was hired in the late 1960s. Is that 60s? Yeah, to reverse engineer extraterrestrial technology. The work supposedly occurred at the site Area S4, a subsidiary installation allegedly located several kilometers south of the Air Force facility popularly known as Area 51. He said, U.S. government briefing documents that described alien involvement in human affairs for over the past 10,000 years.
Holy okay, so back to ancient civilizations,
Yeah.
dude, right?
Yeah. 10,000 years.
Fuck, man. That was one thing he said. He said one of the craft was archaeological. That's what he said. One of the craft was archaeological, at least.
There's no way it's not real. There's no way there's not real aliens.
Yeah, and another thing is like, because I guess there's so many different offshoots and theories of different things. Like, how the fuck have we evolved so quickly from a brain standpoint, from a technology standpoint compared to every other species?
PCP.
Angel dust, baby.
Crack. That's how we do it.
But it's like, are we really that special? I mean, maybe we're special compared to other creatures in the fact that we have the capacity to do so many different things and so many different medians and areas and all that sort of stuff. Like, we can basically survive in, somehow in any environment, right? Whether it's the Arctic, whether
we can if we have the
that
tools to do it.
Exactly.
But we know how to make the tools.
We have
do
the
it.
tools, and so it's like every other creature can't do that. So then, how the fuck did we advance so quickly? How did our brains advance so quickly? How did all that happen?
Has it been quickly? I mean, we've been here on this planet for a very long time.
But think about like a shark. A shark was around with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, they've been around longer than us.
To my knowledge, a shark is still a fucking shark. It hasn't really changed that much.
Yeah, but obviously they communicate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can't say they're not intelligent.
I'm not saying there isn't some intelligence. My point is there's a major difference.
True, but they survived. They've also adapted and survived longer than we have.
Very true. That we know of.
Well, I mean, you can say the same thing about gators have been around since dinosaurs.
Right, but my point is a gator isn't doing what we're doing right now.
Well, no, but gators show major signs of intelligence.
Well, I'm not saying there's not some. That's not my argument. My argument is that
you're talking about like being able to adapt or just think.
A gator's not distilling this beautiful bottle of bourbon.
Correct.
A gator's not
pouring a glass and having a drink.
Right. A gator's not creating the mechanism that is this microphone
or a plane.
Or having major advanced communication and intricate communication like you and I are having. So it's like, why is that? And how did that happen? Why isn't any other creature... Now, there were other creatures that were around that had advanced, communication, like Neanderthals and Denisovans and all that sort of stuff, but they died out.
But what's crazy is like there are other creatures that they all invent their own home. Right, they're all building their own home. Like every creature on the planet builds a nest or builds a home. You know what I mean? And a place to live, and a place to stay. But look at the like a colony of ants. Like they create a whole ecosystem. They're underground building cities.
Right.
To us, it's like okay, it could be the size of this table. To them, it's a giant work of art that they've built.
Right. And that's impressive.
It's just on a different scale than us.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's not impressive. What I'm saying is the amount of different things that we can do compared to everything else is pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah.
More so.
It is.
Right?
But in the big picture, like in the universe, we could be the dumbest motherfuckers you ever seen.
For sure, but we don't know that yet. But my point is, like, what if something else modified genetics somehow? Because there's been accounts of alien abductions from people to where different things like when the individual was abducted, they did something with their genetics to alter.
They were basically rewired
or extracted
genetics
or extracted sperm cells or extracted eggs. So it's like, well, why is that? Well, maybe that's what we are. Maybe a long time ago we had to be repopulated somehow, and maybe that was the repopulation was ancient extraction of sperm and egg cells from, our ancestors somewhere along the lines that were incubated maybe in some spaceship in outer space or somewhere else.
Or we're all the children of an alien.
Maybe, right?
Like you said, Jesus or God, whatever you want to call it, could have been an alien, and he seeded the planet.
Potentially, right?
And here we are.
Potentially.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. It is crazy, but that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine... Okay, so now we have this vindication of there is extraterrestrial life. You have the evangelical Christian group that believes one thing solely and purely their entire life, and now, boom. It's like everything that I thought is fucking could be wrong now.
And the problem with that is, it comes down to controlling money. It has to come down to money. What happens if that stuff goes away? What happens if the church is found out to be a fraud?
Well,
what happens? You know how much money churches make?
oh yeah, a shit ton.
Yeah.
Are you saying because they found out that aliens were real?
Yeah, if that blew away their whole belief system, nobody's going to church.
True.
Nobody those days are over.
But what if it was found out that God was actually an extraterrestrial?
It'd be awesome.
Awesome. But the stories of the Bible and the Quran and other religious religious
then
sects,
heaven and hell, the story of heaven and hell go out the window.
potentially, right?
Possibly.
Right. But imagine
doesn't mean there isn't an afterlife.
Right. But my point is, like, imagine now, rather than, I would think, like, when I think of God, when I was a kid going to Catholic church, I thought of, like, I don't know, a white guy in a robe. Yeah, right.
Hippie
like
Jesus.
that's kind of what I thought
it was
of.
because that's what we were shown.
Exactly.
I was shown the same thing, going to church every Sunday.
Yes.
Growing up Catholic, it was pictures of hippie Jesus on the wall.
Well, now it's something that doesn't really look like us, but kind of looks like us in a way because we're made in the image. So that part's real. And now God is actually, an extraterrestrial, and maybe his son Jesus was the first or one of the first offspring to help spread the word and blah blah. You know what I mean?
I gotta be honest, I would love it. I would fucking love every bit of it.
I would too, because what an interesting conversation, right?
Holy
shit.
It would open up so many new avenues to talk.
Oh,
like, so
my
many
God.
new stories.
Holy
and
shit, dude.
what if questions.
Right?
And,
That would be awesome.
And you were fucking wrong. Like, and you're an asshole, and you're an asshole.
Well, yeah, but people aren't assholes for believing that.
True, you're right.
They're not assholes, dude. They're just
People are just assholes because they're assholes.
well, that's always been my point. So, like, I always defend religion, and the reason why I defend it because I think religion itself is good, but I think people make it bad.
People make everything bad.
Well, of course, right? Because we're all faulty,
Yeah.
and that's when I talk to people about religion who are knocking. I'm like, listen, people are people. It does not matter your skin color. It doesn't matter your religious background. It doesn't matter if you're, X, Y, or Z. People have good in them. People have evil in them.
We've had whole podcasts.
I know. I don't fucking want to hash this out with you again, you son of a bitch.
On this shit, because we think differently about this shit.
For sure, but you understand my
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
We
yeah.
both agree that people are good and evil, right?
Correct.
So, no matter, you can be the biggest Bible thumping Baptist Christian in the world, but you can still be a big piece of shit at home,
Or you could be mad cool.
or you could be the greatest guy or gal ever, right? It's not religion; it's the people that make it bad and manipulate it to their own benefit,
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
And this has been my beef with religion and psychedelics, where it seems like the Catholic Church, for example, wanted to be the intermediary between you and God.
That's the problem I have with it.
Right. But it's
Yeah.
not the religion. It's the people. Again, it's not religion that's saying, oh, I am the intermediary between you and God.
And
no,
I'm
it's-
like, who the fuck are you?
Right,
Like,
but
you're
it's-
just as sinful as I am.
it's the person,
Yeah.
right, dude? It's not the religion,
Yeah.
man. And that's but anyways, can you imagine, fucking alien comes down and says, yeah, and kind of re-educates the human race.
Yeah. Like,
To
I'm,
say,
I'm
like,
your
okay,
daddy.
Here's what happened.
That's what we need. We need another higher being to come down and just explain shit to us.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we are a bunch of tribal apes.
Right, but then
that
again, would you believe? Like, a lot of people, no doubt, would not believe it. They still wouldn't believe it.
See, that's you're right. That's a sad thing. I
It
think
is.
you're right.
Yeah,
with
a lot of
that.
people still would not believe it.
I think you're right, and that is a sad thing. Even when you show some people the proof.
Yeah, like
Right, this is
UFOs
it.
coming down.
Right. No.
And the dude walks out looking like hippie Jesus. And he's like, my children. You know what I
Nope.
mean? Yep. Not him.
Nope. This
It's
ain't
fake.
him. This ain't him.
Fake.
Anyways, man, that's so funny, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, I have my brain goes in so many different directions.
I love that shit. And if you guys like it too, drop a comment.
Yeah,
and we will even dig deeper into this if they want to hear it.
Absolutely. And you know something? If you've ever had any experiences with extraterrestrials, any sort of anomalous things that you can't explain, drop a comment below. Reach out to us. Love to talk about this even more.
And I'm gonna get this thing up and running. Next week we will be doing live streams instead of dropping podcast videos.
Okay.
So these are gonna be live streams, and on top of that, we will be able to take call-ins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Yeah. So we'll get some call-ins. We'll get this going live on YouTube as well as still the audio podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, any other comments there, buddy?
That's it, man. Aliens are real.
Yeah, I think so too. Again, a couple things to encourage the audience to go check out. Check out James Fox's new documentary, The Moment of Contact. Also, check out the story behind Bob Lazar, Area S4.
Just Google Area S4. Bob Lazar comes right up.
Yeah. I forget the documentary with him. Very recently, I think it's on Netflix.
Robert Scott Lazar.
Yeah. Anyways, very interesting. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, like the video, check us out on Spotify, Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. Where else, dude?
That's good, but you can find us on Twitter.
I'm at Jimmy the J. I don't post that much. I need to start getting fucking up there.
At Bourbon Blunts, at digital_slang. You can support the podcast by either subscribing on YouTube or just watching the podcast on YouTube, or you can donate to the podcast on Spotify. Yeah. And that's it, man. We'll be back soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. Cheers.
Peace.